An economic emergency is being orchestrated to get the government and the Federal Reserve to give out free money. And this current administration has all the ducks in a row for this to happen. This screenshot is from 2 minutes ago. The markets just opened up and already the S&P 500 is down 1.5%, the NASDAQ is down 1.78, and the Dow Jones is down 1.13, which is enormous for such a short period of time. The reason for this market crash is the imposition of 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and an additional 10% on China. We input $1.3 trillion in goods from these countries. That's about 4% of America's total GDP, so that's a huge number. And because a huge chunk of these imports are used by our manufacturing sector to generate actual products, it's going to affect the entire economy, and the markets are adjusting accordingly, unless there's some miracle reached by tomorrow. Now, we barely export anything to Canada and Mexico, but sadly, tariffs go both ways. And 61% of all of our oil imports come from Canada alone. So we are going to see oil price increases. We're going to see gas price increases. We're going to see increases in the overall energy sector. The United States produces 13.5 million barrels a day, but we consume 20 million every day. So that deficit has to come from somewhere, and it's usually very cheap to get it from Canada and Mexico. We can't go to any other country for that level of cost efficiency. And because gas prices are going to be increasing, that means everything that you can purchase that's not local is going to go up in value, because guess what? Liquor, food, clothes, anything has to be transported from the warehouse or whatever distribution center to your local area. All of that put together may lead to a huge sell-off, which leads to a major economic slowdown in which the federal government and the Federal Reserve will have to step in for some kind of fiscal stimulus. And the vast majority of that fiscal stimulus will go to the very wealthy who already have money in the market, and the rest of us won't really get much. And yes, there may be some popular discontent, but it's not going to be on the right side of the political aisle. People will get very upset, but our current administration knows how to aim half of them at the other half. All the current government has to do is to blame Democrat politicians, leftist protesters, of course, Canada, Mexico, China, the EU, and everybody else. Our current president has the cult of personality where he can make his people suffer and make them think it's anyone else but his fault. And while he is doing this, he is just going to help redistribute wealth towards the 1 or 5%. And when Mexico and Canada finally do acquiesce, because it's my opinion that they will, our current president gets to look like a hero. People on the right are convinced that this is the right way to go, and they are willing to endure any kind of economic pain that has to be thrown at them. And then once they get a stimulus, they're going to feel very validated. Same will happen with the people in the middle. Now, if, and there's a big if, there are protests or riots that take place, I think that's what this administration wants, because they want to show the rest of the world and their base the kind of examples they will set for people who don't comply. And all of the infrastructure to enforce and maintain this has been set up. We have a red president, we have a red Congress, we have a majority red Supreme Court, and about 31 out of 50 states are red. Major social media platforms have shown that they are on the side of this current administration, so they have a whole set of propaganda to bolster this movement. Now, let's see how far this goes. Maybe, just maybe, there is some last-minute deal that can stop all of this. But if not, just know that this is part of the plan, unfortunately. Thanks for watching.